Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over Variant 5 Blood and Venom 2.1 Full Exploration Guide. We're going to take a look at my MVPs, of course the toughest fights, and other options just in case you want to bring in someone else or maybe you don't have who I'm showing or describing. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the content. Also, if you're looking for another chapter, make sure to check the playlist. We've been cataloging all of them, and if they're not there yet, they'll be there by the end of the week. That all being said, let's get to the show. All right, our first fight is Lane 1, the farthest one on the left. In my opinion, Lane 1 and Lane 3 are the least difficult of the lanes in this chapter. I say least difficult because this is hard content. It's Variant 5. In this lane, I believe the Crossbones is by far the toughest fight, mainly due to his ability to shrug. He can be a tough fight. I thought it'd be fun to bring in Mojo for the lane, and it most definitely was. I was able to charge him up, and you can see the immense degen passive that he can do, and it's fun because, Crossbones can't shrug passive, right? On this lane are the nodes of Fury, and then there's a power lock when you nullify a buff. So that that can be complicating when you're bringing in Mystics. Mystics are fantastic in this chapter. And so they're going to be nullifying things, of course, but it's really not the end of the world. You can play with it or play around it. And so we'll just kind of watch this and see as you see the degen jams Mojo doing. I love Mojo. His block proficiency was just a little bit better because you can see how well he can hang on. I mean, we're running suicides here, and he's been hanging on at this like between 10 and 20% health. But, maybe he'd be a little too overpowered, or maybe he was just supposed to be a defender. Who knows? But so that's that fight. There's lots of options you can bring in for that. I imagine you're used to fighting Crossbones, and if you're not, ask, and we'll see what we can find out. Lane 2. Lane 2 is tough. There's this power alternator node, right? And that can really mess you up. I know it did me once. And so I just chose to redo the fights for you. But the power switched, and Domino went into her lucky phase. She triggered lucky right afterwards, and I was not anticipating it, and she went lucky and she evaded and did some really mean things to me. So I did this fight twice. I wanted to come back in. I wanted to show you a couple options. The first is Longshot. He's excellent for this. He just has that parry heavy style of play. I don't think it leaves a lot of windows for Domino to do her thing. You're going to see that we are taking the crit damage, and I had suicides on, which I do not suggest. I had him on because I was running Corvus in AQ, and he was saving me items like he does, and I just really didn't want to take them off if I didn't need to, and fortunately I didn't. But if I had, I definitely would have, and I would suggest most people who aren't bringing in a series of R2s do take off the suicides. So you'll see that it is possible, right? She's got me in a bad place, but as we've talked about, you stay calm, and you're probably going to figure something out there. Also, don't make the mistakes I made, right? If you have unlucky on you, you're not going to be able to evade. So don't even don't try it. It's a bad idea. But you stay calm, you figure something out. And the way that this lane is constructed, I feel certain that if you're in Variant 5 and you can do it, you're going to be able to just sacrifice a champion to this fight. I wouldn't even suggest trying to come out of it with a full health bar. I think it could lead to frustration. The good point is, it is early in the lane, so if that's your goal, you can always just back right out. Back out. If it doesn't go your way, back out. Sorceress Supreme is another excellent option. She does have the slow to deal with Domino's evade if you need to. Also, it's important to remember that Domino, you can do that step back light. She just dives in so much that you just step back and then you light punish her. So you don't have to do the parries like I'm doing here. I am trying out different things and testing Sorcerer. And Sorcerer is not really very good with suicides anyway because of the amount of special she's throwing. But again, I wanted to show another option. Not everyone's going to have a long shot, and of course not everyone's going to have a Sorcerer. I do know people who've done this fight with Spark and who've done this fight with Magic. So there are options. You saw the step back light right there. Remember that. Keep that in mind. And then, of course, when you see that she goes lucky, make sure you shorten up your combos and even finish in a light, or maybe just do a 3 or 4 hit combo, right? And you'll get her down. Again, my suggestion, if this fight is tough, which I think it is, Do not worry about your health bar coming out of it. Be very content knowing that if you get a solo, or even if you use 2 champions, you got 5 of them, even if you have to use 2 champions, it's fine. This is the toughest fight on the lane by far. You'll see she's got us in a bad place. I didn't have the heal on block phase when she threw that special, and so it took off a significant chunk of health and we didn't heal it back. But we're going to stay calm and we will solo this fight. Step back light. It works. Yeah, so you can see I've gotten serious. I'm no longer testing things out, and I've decided I really don't want to come back and do this fight a 4th or 5th time, or however many times I decided to do it for this video. And so it's like, I'm just going to do a step back light and finish it off. And you see how well it works, right? So just stick with that. Don't get fancy. Don't complicate a fight where so many things can go wrong because of Domino's abilities. And that's lane 2. Lane 3 is power focus to the SP1, and then special, unblockable special 1. We have a nice how to solo Arcus video out. I recommend you check that out. I'll link it in the channel. And we provide lots of options, and some of the ones we do mention, of course, are ones that help you with Vision's power control. The other option is just armor break immune champion. Now, if you can have one that does both, that's even better. Brought in Sasquatch. I do enjoy playing him very much. He's going to save me here. I do get backed into the corner. But being armor break immune is a great thing. We're going to fight our way out of the corner. The Wrath of Tanarak is on. And you'll see the absolutely nasty damage that Sasquatch is able to put out in a short bit of time. This is what I think is by far the toughest fight in the lane. And I really suggest, if you're looking for just initial exploration, or I'm sorry, initial completion, do lane 1 or 3. Do yourself a favor, avoid that domino. And there's a couple of fights in lane 4. I'd say just avoid them if you're not looking for the full exploration yet. Baiting the SP1s, it is hard. It is smart, even if we can't control the power, or I think the Sasquatch can finish it off. I'm finally remembering about the tenacity, which I clearly forgot about earlier in the fight. And, we're going to finish the fight off right here. And then lane 4. I do think lane 4 is the most difficult of the lanes because there's 2 very difficult fights. There's the Mephisto, which unfortunately I am not going to show here. I apologize for that. We had a few issues. But you can do that fight, and you can bring in a Clairvoyant, a Spark, or a Mephisto would all work. And I imagine there's probably some other options. And if you know some, please share that. Put that in the comment section, and we'd love to hear it. We'd love to see it. Clairvoyant was my MVP for the whole chapter by far and away. Mojo and Longshot were a lot of fun, and I brought them in and I used them. But Claire, I think, could have done probably every fight in this chapter. I'm trying to think of one she could not have done, and I can't think of one. And I think it just speaks to how great she is, especially with suicides. I had them on, and so I just chose to bring her in, and then it worked out that she was fantastic for the difficult fights here. With Korg, just bait the heavy, let him throw it, do what you can to not trigger Dex as you move back. His heavy does take a bit of time. And then if and when he gets to his SP2, bait that SP2. It's much easier to evade and punish than the SP1. And so it would take a little block damage. It's fine. It's fine. The goal is just to get through the fight, to win it, and to move on. Which we're definitely going to do here. I'm going to try to get a little fancy, if I remember correctly, and switch over to the blood phase so I can try to heal up, which is a mistake. Why complicate a win? Why potentially snatch a loss from the jaws of victory, right? Like, just don't do it. If you've got it, don't mess it up. And then Claire, just to show how dominant she is for this chapter, and what a great champion she is. She is the answer, in my opinion, for this Scarlet Witch boss with the Vivified and the enhanced specials. I did use Longshot and he was a lot of fun. And I had almost a comical fight where Scarlet Witch ended up surviving with 1% health. I found it odd or funny that Longshot died and felt very unlucky in doing it. But the point is just get Scarlet Witch, get into the poison immunity phase, take it slow, build Scarlet Witch up to her SP2, which isn't hard because of the node, and then just evade that over and over. It will take a little while, but you'll get it down. It's incredibly safe, and you'll come away with the solo every single time. I'm going to show you the length of the video just so you can get an idea of how long it takes and what you should be prepared for. But like I said, just get in the poison phase, build her up to her SP2. You can parry. Make sure you have the SP2 evade down, and then you got yourself a solo, and you have fully explored chapter 2.1. All right, there's not much more to it, so I'll leave it to and let you enjoy the music. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at VegaGaming583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.